Welcome to the Unknown Changemakers. It's nice to see you back again in my channel. In today's episode, we'll find a Britisher who became a change maker. That is Murray Culshaw, who came all the way from England, and he was the pioneer in fundraising. He was also popularly known as father of all NGOs. That's how fundraising started and how he helped the various NGOs across India. Let's go and ask him what made him to settle down in India and become a part of a family of NGOs in India.
I am an Englishman living in India, but I was born in Calcutta. Actually have a family background that goes back many years in Calcutta. But I went to school in England and college, and then came back to India to work in a technical school teaching carpentry. And there I learned a lot of little things about the differences between India and Europe. All the time now, working with NGOs. I was fortunate to start life with the social sector. I worked with Oxfam in Delhi. And actually, very soon after working with Oxfam in Delhi, I started to be very interested in the issue of fundraising. It's not a subject that I had particularly been associated with before, but there was an annual conference at that time. I think it was the first annual conference in India in 1989 on the subject of fundraising. And there what was happening was people were invited to come to that conference. We had a lot of speakers, many of them international, and they all talked about how organizations abroad were fundraising. How was UNICEF doing? How was Oxfam doing in the UK? Etc., etc. A lot of complaints started to arise that what's happening in India. Well, gradually things started to happen. Partly encouraged by the fundraising workshop, but not only that, there were a few pioneer fundraisers who were absolutely determined to raise money in India. After I left Oxfam, came to Bangalore, I had decided that I would spend the rest of my life actually helping organizations communicate their work and raise money in India. We've worked at two levels. One is the direct level, how an individual organization can raise money now in India from Indians. So from that, we moved on to helping develop a series of national initiatives. One was the development of what was called in those days the Indian Fundraising Group, and annual conferences and workshops on fundraising. Then other organizations came along. We started to become involved in marathons. Now, why marathons? Because marathons are an event which provides an opportunity for an organization to engage its friends, its well-wishers, and raise money. So it's raising Indian money from within India by people who communicate the work of their organization. And that's what we were beginning to advocate. So we started to serve as the philanthropy partner to help organizations raise money through the marathons in Bangalore, Delhi, and Calcutta. But now we've been hit by COVID. We've all been hit by COVID. The world has been hit by COVID. And the sector has been hit by COVID. I think it's amazing how the sector has done its best to respond throughout India in any way it could. Whatever its speciality was, they have responded in very practical ways to helping organizations tackle the issue. Now, Ram, you also asked about what can be done. I believe there are things that can be done. First of all, organizations must realize the world has changed. Well, the first thing can be done is realize the change taking place. So the demography of India is changing, and the other big influence is technology. So we don't have funds for technology development, but still, where can we go? We have to learn that we've got to start communicating much, much better in the social sector. First of all, the value of the work we're doing, and the fact that we have to promote the work we're doing.
Let's ask Murray what made him to start an organization called India Cares, which was an NGO for NGOs, an NGO which was supporting all kinds of specialties and helping NGOs to become stronger and reach out to their dreams. Let's ask Murray how it all happened and take his guidance.
It is communication to raise resources, and basically raise resources from individuals. Because companies want their name on something. They can't put your name on everything. Companies are not giving so much to the social sector. The government is not in favor of the social sector. It says nothing about the importance. So we have to go to people. We have to learn to communicate to people. But again, nobody will give us money for that. So what do? Because we need access in the sector to, let's call it marketing help or communications help. We have to find people who can write, copy, to start using those terms, marketing information, impact of our work, and we have to know people who can put it onto social media, use technology, and we have to learn the skills to be in touch with not just grant makers but with individuals. That's not an easy ask. But where do you even start with that? One of the things that has been very strong in my mind for many years now is we must build databases which can help us communicate to friends and well-wishers. If we do that, we can raise resources from this group of people. It may only be half a dozen family members to start with. But then from half a dozen family members, it can grow to 25 with a few trustees helping. From 25, it can grow. And we've many examples over the years now of organizations which have started with a very small group of people beginning to raise very considerable sums of money, largely from individuals. And to give you another kind of example, which everybody may know in India, is the extraordinary growth of CRY, which started with 5 college students sitting around a table in Bombay, putting 10 rupees each on the table. Now it's a national organization supporting children. Some of the big organizations have done it. Many of the small organizations have done it at a smaller level. But still, overall, the sector is nervous about, or not committing itself to, because it does require a commitment. It requires the chief executive to get the staff alongside the board to endorse the idea that they must communicate what they're doing to the Indian public. Look, if you get international donations and you've got your FCRA, fine. But let's start creating those databases, building on those databases with good communication, helped by, we can get volunteers to help with communication. If we can gradually find ways of putting funds aside, and if you work in an organization, you sort of know how to do that. Put money aside to employ a communicator. Put money aside to employ a database person to concentrate on the database and build up from there. So now with many of us confined to our homes, get down to the basics of understanding that the world has changed and build up a relationship with Indian society, largely through communicating to individuals. Thank you.
That was Murray Culshaw's journey with the NGOs and his experience in fundraising.
Ram and I have known each other now for 20 years. It's not that we've been in touch every day, but over the years we've had many, many times when we've been able to work together. May I ask, it's kind of Ram to ask me about the work that I have done, but Ram himself is a remarkable person. How do we know this? Well, the first thing you realize when you know Ram is, and you may not hear this at first, Ram started when he was young. He started to care for those that had committed suicide in Culshaw Lake and ensuring that they had a proper burial. I don't think there was anybody else in Bangalore doing that. Ram then went on to find numerous ways of just spending his life helping organizations, helping individuals, coming up with numerous ways to be an encouragement to others. He's been associated with volunteering in hospitals, and he's helped us in many ways. There have been training courses that Ram has spoken about how to involve humor as part of fundraising. Now, somebody like me would not come up with that idea. But let me just give you one example which has stuck in my mind for many years, and I still use it. He talks about the value of vitamin M. Now, everybody who hears the phrase vitamin M knows that it's to do with fundraising and money. But Ram was able to introduce that into the minds of myself, and I'm sure many, many others, through the courses, through the training courses he'd been part of, and through his help to organizations. So we have Ram today known for going out of his way to help individuals, the sector, social organizations, individuals with issues, problems, social organizations. And he still is in touch with them and will continue to be so, doing his best to make their work known as widely as possible. Thank you, Ram, for what you have been in life.
This is Ram, your humor Ram, signing off for another episode. We'll come back with another change maker who has made a difference. Okay, until then, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that we can spread all this news across the globe. Thank you and bye-bye.